I am here in East Orlando with Chef Rich in One Plate Kitchen. I just got to meet this wonderful man of God during the outreaches as he's cooking for the homeless 2, 3, even 4 times a week, perfectly balanced, nutritious meals. And when I first walked in here, I just noticed that you carry Jesus so beautifully. And everything you cook, everything you do, I see the spirit of excellence. And what just stood out to me, that this is not a business, that this is actually a ministry. And I love when people take their gifts and turn it into a ministry unto the Lord, a ministry unto the people. And I just wanted to know a little bit more about you and your testimony, if you would share that with us.
Of course. I wasn't always like a Christian, growing up. We went to church once in a blue moon, but it wasn't really pushed on us. I really didn't come to God or come to Jesus until I had my first child. I have 3 children, and my first child, the way he was born, he was born placenta abrupta. And that means he was drowning inside my wife. So they took him out immediately. And I remember the first time I saw him, I just remember like his lifeless little arm hanging down, and he had a beautiful head of hair. So obviously it didn't come from me, his head of hair, it came off from her. But, there was a bunch of doctors there and they were working on him, and I kept on hearing the same thing: can't get a heartbeat, can't get a heartbeat, can't get a heartbeat. So, it just hurt me every time I heard them say it. So I made a decision that if I hear it again, I'm going to get up and I want to hurt somebody in this room. So I heard it again, can't get a heartbeat. So I went to stand up, and when I realized that I couldn't stand up, another doctor came in, got a heartbeat, and put him in the incubator and wheeled him out immediately. So he was in the NICU for about a week before he started to get better. That was my first experience with God. And obviously I prayed and I please save him, please save him. But the next experience I had, obviously I'm a former U.S. Marine, so I'm a little hard-headed. So he had to give me another experience, and I think this one was more traumatic than the first one was. So we just moved into a new place, and we were on the 2nd floor, and we're painting, cleaning up, and it was just a guy's day. So it was me, my youngest, who was 2 years old at the time, and my oldest, which was about 7 years old at the time. So I was painting in the bathroom like 10 feet away, and they came in and it was like, oh, it's hot in here. They were running around. Can you open the window? So I opened the window for him and went back to painting. No more than 2 or 3 minutes later, my oldest son ran into the room and said there was an accident. So I ran into their bedroom, looked around for my youngest, who was 2 years old, and couldn't find him. At the corner of my eye, saw the window screen was flapping. I couldn't believe it. My heart stopped for a minute. I ran over there, prayed, this can't be happening, this can't be happening. And I looked down and I saw him. He fell about 16 to 18 feet onto the concrete driveway. He took the full impact on his skull. So I ran downstairs, and I know you're not supposed to move him, but my 2-year-old's on a concrete driveway. I can't leave him there. And when he looked at me, it was just a look that just sank, that I'll never forget. So when I went to scoop him up and pick him up, I felt his head, and his head was indented a little bit from where he took the fall. So I brought him inside. I called the ambulance. They came in and rushed him to the hospital. He had blood in his brain. He had a fractured skull. His brain was swelling. So they put him in a coma to kind of hopefully bring the swelling down. Because it was age, they were saying hopefully this would work. If not, then they had to take it to the next step. So obviously praying and praying and praying at that point, to see your son there, I think, as I look back at it, I see God knows exactly how to get somebody and how to take them where it just breaks you, just enough where it doesn't drive you crazy. But from that point on, it was done. I gave it all to Jesus. It is all about him. I do nothing without him leading me. So from that point on, I became ride or die. I am Jesus, 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 all the way to the core. I am Jesus now.
Yes, and you shared it with me that now we are sitting here in this beautiful facility, which is your business, but also your ministry. And you shared it with me that you're not running this.
And I tell everybody that we meet, this is not my kitchen. This is Jesus' kitchen. He's the boss. He runs the show. I just show up and cook. That's all I do. I work for him. So whenever you come in here, I want you to feel that way too. I want you to feel that, this is your house too. Just as much as it's my house, this is your house. Because it's his kitchen. It's his business, not my business.
That is so beautiful. So how did you get to know that you have a gift of cooking, or how did you know that that's something you would want to do or pursue, and what did you do with that?
You know, I never really knew that it was a gift. I mean, growing up, I always watched my mom cook, and it was amazing because we have a big family. So what I noticed was all family parties ended up in the kitchen. So I started to kind of develop a thing where, you know, it seemed like the kitchen was where it was about caring and sharing and loving. So as I grew into it, you know, I started to enjoy it more and more and more, and found that it was a place where not only where I could share and love on people, but I could also do what I love to do. So for me, it's not like I can spend hours and hours in the kitchen and it's not like I'm working at all. You know, I really love what I do, and it allows me to kind of be at peace. You know, when I'm at the kitchen, you know, I feel like I'm really working with Jesus. I feel like he's really there with me, you know, every single time that I'm here, because we're serving others, whether it be homeless, whether it be a family, whether it be some of the meals that we do, whatever it is. You know, I feel like we're always working together. You know, he's the chef, I'm like his little helper over here.
That's beautiful. And now, you know, today you're sitting in your own business, but you had to get to this point. So how did you steward the gift? How did you steward your passion? How did you pursue to become a wonderful chef and have your own business?
You know, I think the gift that God gives you, it's a tremendous honor, but it's also a huge responsibility. You know, I think when you get that gift, you have to nurture it. You know, you have to devote a lot of time for it. You have to sacrifice a lot for it. You know, but if it's something like, for me, it was something that was in my heart, so I didn't mind spending hours and hours and hours working on it, because it was something that I truly loved to do. And I got to spend time, like I felt I got to spend more time with Jesus, because like he was there with me, you know, guiding me through all these things and through all these times, you know, these hard times to develop the gift. You know, if you don't nurture it, I feel like some people have that gift and they just hide it away. And for me, it's a sin to do stuff like that. You know, you were given this beautiful opportunity, given this beautiful gift, and then you don't steward it properly, you don't nurture it, or you don't develop it. You know, and I think you really need to do things like that, because when that happens, I think, you know, when we were going through all these times to kind of develop this thing, you know, that our whole cooking technique, God was always there to kind of help me. It was a hard road and it was hard, but he was always there to help me with this and help me with that. And I think God honors all that hard work that you put into it. You know, but he can't give you more until you do the work that you need to do first. You know, I can't raise you to another level, or I can't open another door until I know I feel comfortable with you that you can take this part. Once you can take this part, I'm going to open another door, and I'm going to open another door. And I think this whole place and all of our experiences that we've had, you know, I've gotten to cook for a lot of people, some important people, but I've also got to cook for cancer patients. I've also got to cook for, you know, diabetes patients, you know, people that are fighting for their lives. So for me, it's like he's always allowed me to go one step more and one step more and one step more, but I had to do the hard work first, you know, before he opened these amazing doors that gave me these great opportunities to share the gift. And then for me, I think that's what it's all about. It's not just taking the gift and cooking for myself and for my family. You know, it's about cooking for everybody. It's about serving everyone.
Serving the community, including the homeless people.
Including the homeless, everyone. And that's, I think, with our kitchen, what I feel it makes it like special is this door is open for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. You know, if I have food, you have food. That's how it runs in this kitchen.
That is so beautiful, and this is how we got to know each other, as just coming down and watching him cook red curry for the homeless community. You are a celebrity. Like when the truck shows up, they know that you cook. They're lining up, they're excited, and you actually make their days.
And then, which for me, like we've got, like I was saying before, we've got to cook for a lot of like famous people. And it's fun, it's good to meet these people, but once you do it for a couple of times, you kind of notice that they're all the same. You know, what makes me the happiest is when we went to like some of the hospitals and cooked for the cancer patients. Like the feeling you get when you cook for them it's amazing. Because they're fighting for their lives. So it's just,
And so when you provided one plate, what is the concept behind the one plate? And what is the concept beyond just providing a meal or providing the perfect nutrition? And do you see that there is a connection between what we eat and the diseases, what we are seeing around us popping up?
And the whole reason we started One Plate, and just the name of it too, the One Plate name, came from doing a lot of research. I got my master's degree in education, so I kind of like focused all around like disease and food and how they were related with each other. So what I've noticed was a lot of these chronic diseases that we suffer from are either preventable or reversible, but it's all based on the food that we eat. And God made such an amazing body that if we feed it properly and we get out and exercise and do what we're supposed to do, your body can actually heal itself. It's amazing.
Exactly.
So what we really wanted people to do is not to make these big diet changes, because again, that stuff doesn't work. What I want you to do is just take one plate each week and just make it healthy. And we'll work together. And that's a good thing, I think, what differentiates us from other people is we are professional chefs. No one knows food more than we do. No one knows culturally, the cultural differences in food more than we do. So I can work with any culture. I've cooked every type of food you can think of. I can work with any culture and really tweak food to make it where it's healthy for you. It's more nutritious. It's going to help. And it's not only going to help you, but it's going to help your children and their children and so on and so on. What happens now, it's a vicious cycle that happens is unhealthy parents raise unhealthy kids who grow up to be unhealthy parents, and it keeps on going. And that's not what we were put here to do. How can I enjoy this life if I'm suffering from all kinds of diseases?
How can I be a blessing to the body of Christ? How can I go on crusades if I'm overweight and I'm unable to move? Like, it's just like we can fulfill the purpose and destiny what the Lord called us unless we take care of our temple. And part of that is that we are a lot like what we eat.
Mm-hmm. So, and again, I don't think, one of the things we always try to do, we inspire, educate, and lead. So we inspire people to shop smarter. You don't need to get all these trendy stuff because a lot of that stuff is not true. So we really break it down to, I want you to save money at the grocery store. I'm going to show you how. We educate people on how to be in and out of the kitchen as quick as possible.
Yeah. And another problem is that today, not a lot of people know how to cook in a healthy way. So I understand that you also teach in this facility. So One Plate is a training facility where people can come in and learn from the best how to cook.
We set it up. We have classes every week, and we set it where you can come on in, you can learn. We have our whole studio kitchen that we tape stuff that we'll put on the website as well. But we really want you to get in here and learn. And the greatest part of it at the end is you get to eat everything. I think what kills me is if I was to cook and you didn't really get to taste it. I want you to taste it. And again, it's selfish of me because I want you to enjoy it. Like, I want to serve you. So to be able to not give you that food and not be able to not feed you, it would hurt me.
And you also cook commercially, or like somebody who maybe have a busy lifestyle and they are just like, I'm not into that cooking, but I really want that one plate, that one healthy meal. Then they can actually come in here and sign up, and you would be cooking for them for a reasonable fee.
We set up a program. One of the things we saw was, okay, we understand some people are busy. Our whole setup, our whole mantra is definitely get you in and out of the kitchen within a couple of minutes. But again, I know people are still busy, or they just don't like to cook. So what we did is we set up a program where you can just come and pick up the meals, that are, again, they're portioned properly, but they're all.
It's mouth-watering. It's everything cooked to perfection. It looks so good.
And they're all healthy. They're all nutritious. They're all full of flavor, low sodium, low fat. So we always we use all the fresh product. We don't even have a freezer in here, so we don't freeze anything. Everything we get is fresh. It's cooked and then sealed, and then you come and pick it up and enjoy it and get healthy.
Wow.
And get happy.
And again, this is serving the homeless community as well. And I just feel like this is so beautiful, that this is Jesus' kitchen, that you surrender your life, and that you do have a gift of cooking, but this is not just a business, this is your ministry. And I can testify that when you walk in through those doors, that you do feel like family. And then I do see Jesus in you. And I just wanted to say thank you honor you for what you do for the community. Honor you what you do for our homeless, community in downtown. And thank you so much for this interview.
Well, thank you for allowing me to share. And I think for me, that's the most important thing, is allowing me to share with others. Because it's not my kitchen, it's his kitchen.
Glory.
It's his world, it's his kitchen. I just work for him.
Glory to God.
Amen.
And see, this was like, wow. Okay, it ended up being 15 minutes.